Hello, everyone. This is going to go up a little bit later than normal because my body didn't think I needed to get up for the alarm I set for my nap yesterday when the episode came out. So, yeah, I was passed out while Mike was messaging me, wondering if we were doing the episode or not. But hey, it's all good. All right. So, the plot's here finally.
Yep.
Yeah. Like everything that they've even set up in these last 3 episodes is here. Caltech, what the Bengals about, Nakia getting on the board.
We got a little bit of the partition and probably one of the coolest Easter eggs, at least specifically for Phase 4.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was... We got all sorts of stuff going on. Mike's got some Easter egg stuff we're going to go through too, but yeah, so... oh boy. Cameron's mom is the friend who was there with Aisha, who I guess, well, I don't want to say this, was there when they found the Bengal. And it kind of sounds like Aisha's getting the rap for all this shit that this chick's doing.
Yeah, that's exactly what it seems, according to this flashback.
Yeah, and there's supposed to be 2 of them?
Apparently.
There's a big old cliffhanger.
Makes me really curious who has the second one.
And I had to be like, I'm sitting there watching this flashback, and I'm like, y'all ain't normal. I could tell they weren't normal right away. Because they're like, you know what? Are we not frightened that Bengal's on a severed hand? Like, no. What I'm wondering is how none of you are concerned by the fact that it's on a blue severed hand.
Yeah, I had questions about that too.
Kind of like, you know what color gins normally are? Blue. Like, okay, something's not right here. I'm like, I guarantee that's not a Kree. What the hell's going on here? But yeah, so we find out that they're basically vampires. They don't age. Outside of Cameron, who ages normally to the age of 17. Because actor.
Yeah.
I like how that just works.
And I'm pretty sure the actor himself is like 30.
Yeah, oh, of course he is. I guarantee he was 35. Like, that's always how that works. But, yeah, so this happened in the 40s. So something got unlocked that they just stopped aging at this is the part where all these fall apart, where you have to start, where you think even remotely about little details, you just can't do it. Otherwise, stuff starts not making sense.
Yeah. At some point, you just kind of have to accept what's given to you.
Yeah. So, I have never, outside of the rapper, heard of the word "nor" in my entire life. What is that?
In the context of this show, it seems like Noor is, you know how in DC you have like the fifth dimension.
Yeah.
I can only guess that that's the dimension in the MCU, and I'm looking up some further explanation, see if there's something I missed.
Because I'm like, that's either some place that lives inside of them, or that's some metachlorian horse shit that's getting thrown in here. Or like,
okay, so it seems like the newer dimension is the home of the MCU's versions of the Clandestines.
The Clandestines, okay. Who are the Clandestine normally? Is that a Miss Marvel thing?
No, this is the Clandestine are like a really obscure superhero team from like the 90s.
Okay, because I was like, y'all are sounding like this is something I should probably know, and I don't. We're in the territory now where outside of the main character, who I kind of know, I know jack of all about everything else.
To be fair, that's how everyone's kind of reacting to this. Like they hear Clandestines, like, wow, that's a deep cut.
Mm-hmm. It's one of those things, like, man, we talked about it with Doctor Strange. I really wish Snap was alive.
Same.
Do you know how much he would be losing his shit at all this stuff that probably no one knows about?
Like next to Schnepp, the only other person who is like this sweaty about all this MCU stuff is Koi Jandro. But
Yeah.
like outside of those two, like nobody else compares.
No. Yeah, but the great boogeyman of their community and their entire livelihood, authority, and culture just happens to be everyone. They're all Jins.
That's what it seems like.
That's a new one. Never in my life of listening to, reading to, or anything Marvel have I ever heard them even remotely mention Jins. I've never even heard it DC. I've never heard it in comics, period. That's new to me, and I'm okay with that. If they just put that in because it matches the culture, that's perfectly fine.
Yeah, that I actually think that's really cool. And again, it goes back to what I liked about the Bangle sort of replacing Kamala's comic book powers.
Yeah, it's getting something from her roots, and that's cool. The first Easter egg that I noticed, we got a Dr. Selvig mention.
I had that in my notes.
Yeah, I think I might know a guy about dimensional travel. He might have done something in a movie that we don't talk about anymore because almost no one liked it except me. But yeah, that was like, this whole episode was, okay, we get it. The first two were Lizzie McGuire. We're actually going to be a show that has a plot now. Give or take, all that Lizziness was still there with the wedding and all of that. But yeah, there's a really good simple quote that's in this that I am shocked to my core has not been put in more superhero movies or not been known for being in a superhero movie yet.
Oh, good is not a thing that you are. It's a thing you do.
Yeah. I'm like, how on 80 plus years of at least even just DC, Marvel's been around for less time, of just at least 80 years of well-known comic books, has that not been tied to someone? That's insane.
I know. It's such a good line.
And it's like she gets that, and then she gets her domino mask. I'm like, is he just making the rest of it and that's all he got to her?
I think that's probably like the easiest gift to like sneak past the family.
Yeah, I'm like, is this gonna be a Captain? I almost said Captain Falcon. The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. The last 30 minutes, he gets the full costume.
Probably.
Yeah.
They have to hit the beats like that.
Well, they do it. I mean, like, we've seen the set photos of her in it, right? I didn't imagine that.
I'm pretty sure we saw that.
Okay, so I was like, I don't think I imagined that in my brain, but yeah. So we talked about there being a plot finally. I guess the Jins got exiled from their home. When we're talking about being exiled, like, we got all this stuff about the partition and all these other things, and I'm talking about Aisha and all these people getting exiled. All of this is getting unbelievably muddied right now. Who's talking about what and what is talking about who?
I feel like the next episode will make things a little bit clearer because we'll get to it a little bit later. Kamala's grandma mentions a train.
Yeah, that she somehow saw on the other side of the world. at the same time as Kamala, who is being shown it through an, I want to say, is closest to an astral projection because of her Bengal.
I guess.
So just like her whole family is just got Jin sitting there and they just need to go home at some point. Or like it gets to be a point of who knows where you're really from and who's evil and why do you hate Aisha so much when it sounds like Aisha's the good person?
All of these are totally valid questions.
This is the MCU show where I've had by far the most questions.
And yet, like, the amount of questions is pretty much like directly correlating to the quality of the show.
Yeah. Like they have a genuine mystery and they've done almost nothing in the past 2 episodes. Outside of get damage control involved, who is fucking blind, by the way.
I have a very good, but also bad feeling that the reason why damage control is even involved is because eventually we're going to get to Kamala's Law, which has something to do with the second Civil War.
I never read about the second Civil War. All I know is that it was Iron Man and Danvers at the front of it. Yeah, I know literally nothing about the second one.
From what I understand, it apparently there's like a new law where like instead of like the
Registration Act.
Yeah, this time they're like hunting down underage superheroes, and I feel like that's kind of the direction that they're leaning towards.
And I take it Tony goes after Kamala, and Danvers ain't having that.
Something like that. I have to look into it a little bit more, but
okay.
I'm not sure if there's any other reason to include damage and control if they're not like leaning in that direction.
And yeah, they had the same thing with Peter. They have only gone after people that are technically underage, so that makes sense. All I know, I take that back. I know one thing about the second Civil War. All someone ever told me is that Tony needs to realize when he's wrong, is what someone told me. It's just accurate. Like, has it happened again? Coming from the guy who in the first Civil War went, who's the youngest superhero we got? Cool. I'm going to beat the snot out of you because you got a conscience. But yeah, anyway, staying on topic with the episode. That wedding party was great.
I loved it. I think it's like probably my favorite part of the episode.
It was
like,
great.
Like yeah, like there's superhero fights and that's cool and all, but the wedding, the wedding is just like that's just culture.
Yes, exactly. And it's all of this stuff to where it's like y'all wanted stuff that's different. This is different. I don't want to hear none of you bitching and complaining now that you're getting it that you don't like it. I don't care. You do not get to sit on both sides of that fence and go, I want something that's different. And then when you get it, go, this isn't why I subscribe to Disney Plus. Go sit in the corner and bitch and unsubscribe because you need to give some things in your life a chance. I am watching Violet Evergarden right now and crying like a teenage girl that just got broken up before their senior prom. Every single episode. I never would have gave this crap a chance 10 years ago. And I love every second of it. But, yeah, one thing that I appreciate about this, and also, dude, I saw it on your thing last night where you commented about the living on a prayer part. That sequence is great for a number of reasons. One, it did not look highly choreographed.
Nope.
So it looked like a real thing happening. And people say that, no, it looked unprofessional. I'm like, no, every now and then you do not need to make something look like John Wick. Because then you'll actually believe it's a thing that's happening and not make-believe bullshit.
One of my problems with the Star Wars prequels is as cool as those lightsaber fights were, they felt choreographed.
Absolutely.
This, however, felt scrappy, like Kamala didn't know what the hell she was doing.
Yeah.
Um,
and when I say John Wick, I only mean certain parts of it. Not all of it is like that. Like the scene where he breaks the dude's neck and skull with a book.
yeah, that looked genuine.
There's only certain parts. I actually shouldn't say that. I should say James Bond movies more than John Wick. I was completely wrong. It's James Bond more than John Wick. John Wick's a little bit more scrappy than that. But sorry, that was the first thing that came to my head with like high intense scenes. But yeah, it just felt like you need to make a person look like they're new.
And the show is really succeeding at it.
Yeah. Kamala does not need to be an expert for a while. And if they're going in the direction of Civil War 2, it'd be a good thing if you didn't make her a professional for a while, because that would make it more compelling.
I'm just looking at when we're supposed to get the Marvels, and it's still not for another year. And who knows where like the end of this show, like we don't really know what's going to happen in the finale of this show.
No, we don't. But it would be crazy if we actually got to see Carol.
I think it's going to be
Monica.
Yeah, it's going to be Monica over Carol.
Mm-hmm. She's going to say, we have someone you need to talk to, and she just like puts her on the phone with her just to see her freak out. It will be interesting to see A, what happens in that Marvels movie, and then B, what Kevin says this next saga is going to be.
That's right. He said, I think like earlier this week.
Yep. Monday or Tuesday.
Fans will know of the bigger story soon.
Yeah, what this saga is going to be. He said we've seen a good amount of it right now, but we haven't been specific. Kevin, you've had space, time travel, deviance, multiversal travel, and now Jins. Sir, we've noticed a lot. You have not been nailing down anything.
By the way, as we're recording this, tonight is the world premiere for Thor: Love and Thunder. So Kevin Feige will be on the mic saying words.
He will. God.
And what's kind of frustrating about this is because he's been at this for so long that he knows how to say everything and nothing at the same time.
He is such an expert. He has to never be on Twitter and then just randomly go, "Hey guys, I want to talk about something tomorrow," and then he could just be like, "We've got a brand new DVD box set coming out," and then just dip out again, and then we'll be like, "What was that about, man?" Oh god, he simultaneously has to have the worst and best job on the planet.
Oh, easily. Getting back to Bon Jovi.
Brown Jovi?
Yeah.
That might be the best name for a parody band I've ever heard in my life. And I hope to God that's real. I hope someone has that. And if they don't, some smart individual snatch that right now. Hold on. Go ahead.
Let's see. What other cool things are about that scene? Oh yeah, the fact that the show takes place in New Jersey, so obviously they have to have a Bon Jovi reference.
Oh, absolutely.
We talked about the fact that the fight scene looked scrappy, unchoreographed. Also, this episode is kind of Kamala's of like I am a hero moment, where she busts out the embiggened hand.
Yes, that was great. You finally get to see that stupidity of the lanky stretch 'em fist going around. Oh man. Oh, I'm getting excited.
And then there's Bruno,
who admits to her finally that he's going to Caltech.
Yeah, about time.
Mm-hmm. He just had to blurt it out and say it. And you gotta wonder if he's gonna admit something else sooner or later. Because he's not very good about being coy about it.
No, he's not.
And then we got Cameron, who's the only sensible one of that bunch. So, kind of glad he ended up not being a dickhead.
About that, I learned in my research that apparently in the comics, he's inhuman,
Really?
and B, kind of a villain.
Really?
So, yeah, so this is a more heroic version.
Huh. And like, okay, and again, know very little about Miss Marvel. Was it her second origin had to do with the Terrigen Mist?
Either
Because didn't
that,
it kind of tie her to Inhumans a little?
yeah, I think. Because I remember Lockjaw being a big presence in her first run.
Okay, all right, yeah, because that was and then like in the the highly lauded and critically acclaimed Marvel Avengers game, that Terrigen Mist thing goes off, and that's how she gets her powers the first time. Well, in their continuity, that's how she gets her powers, and it's one of those things where I'm enjoying being here for the ride.
Same, honestly.
Okay, and I like you, and again, I just got off of work and just watched it, and then we pretty much got it. You got to see it. Do you know anything about this train since last night?
I have learned nothing new. In fact, in my notes, I just have, okay, the train. What is that about?
Shoot. Okay, got it. That's good. Crap. Yeah, I know nothing about that. Okay, so then let's see. What are your other Easter eggs you had for me, especially the most you'll talk about the Phase 4 thing?
Let's see what else, because I'm also on TV Tropes too for a little extra. Really, there's not too much else that I have. Oh, something cute in the wedding. Do you remember the Hulk costume that Kamala's parents made? Taisha's little brother is actually wearing that outfit.
Oh, I didn't notice that. That's cool.
Yeah, that I thought that was kind of cute.
Nice. Oh, okay. Nice. Yeah, I was just enamored at the whole dance sequence where I guess I just didn't notice a couple little details like that, but that whole wedding was great. Someone, if you're watching this in the comments, let me know. Do they typically ask 3 times during those wedding ceremonies if you're going to take the other person's hand?
Yeah, that's a good question. I would like to know more about that.
Yeah, because like again, outside of my friend from Canada who I talked about last time, Omar, have no one that is not pasty white. Let's just put it that way. I live in central Wisconsin, people. There's not a whole lot of mixturing going on around here. But it'd be interesting to see what other things are tied in with that we didn't get to see, because if you actually have to ask and confirm 3 times, I think that's kind of cool, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think the idea is sort of like you're proving beyond a shadow of a doubt that this is the one you're meant to be with.
Absolutely.
Like the episode is even called Destined. So
yes.
It is kind of cool how that's not just a play on words for like the villains of the episode, but it could be any sort of destiny.
Absolutely. It was a nice touch. And they haven't been like outward and bashing you over the face with these titles for these episodes lately, so I can kind of appreciate that. But yeah, and I don't know where the next episode's gonna go, like even remotely.
Yeah, we end on Nani saying, you and your mother must come to Karachi immediately.
Yeah, because I also saw the train.
Question marks. All the question marks.
So how did just you see the train unless you are the other one that has the Bengal?
That has to be it. Because also,
why else?
Why would not only that? Why would she only throw out one bangle?
Yeah, like, and how did they get like? There's so much mystery around because it's her family, has to be tied in somehow. But you only saw the train when she like tapped that one chunk of the center of the Bengal. She has to have the other one.
She has to.
And maybe, oh man, dude, if she fully becomes like actually Mrs. Marvel when she gets both of them, that'd be kind of cool.
I wonder if that's like kind of the objective here.
That'd be pretty sweet. She can finally defeat the Jinns when she fully unlocks everything. That'd be kind of sweet. That would be sweet.
One more thing we haven't mentioned, and this is something we have ranted about before, you know, in terms of characters not knowing things and getting upset that they don't know things. Nakia just found out at the end of this
episode. Yeah. She's just like, yeah. What I love about that is she walks into the room. Did you hear about this nightlight girl? God, she's a dumb bitch. If I ever found out who this was, I'd be so mad. They came into the mosque and all this, and they were just throwing their guns around. Why didn't you tell me? I don't know. Maybe because you went postal just at the mention of her name? Like, yeah, I can't imagine, Nakia. What do you think was going on? I understand at all why your hostility would have stopped her from wanting to speak with you.
It's like that trope you see like in SpongeBob a lot, where it's like, if I see that person, I'm gonna beat them up. Now, what do you want to tell me about?
Never mind. But the other thing that I also, speaking of Nakia, that I thought was quite great was them basically cock blocking damage control. That was pretty awesome. It's like, and how do you learn about that and do whatever? It's like, no, I just know common knowledge. You can't be in here. Hey, and next time, take your shoes off. Get the hell out. Like
that was satisfying.
That was pretty great. That was pretty great. I was okay with that.
Where'd you learn this? Where'd you learn this stuff? Homeroom? No, Law and Order
reruns. Law and Order reruns. But don't worry, it's just common law. I'm not stupid. Oh God. Oh man, it's wonderful. It's so wonderful. They got a good cast going. It's just that they only have 3 episodes left to deal with a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Do you
how many episodes are Hawkeye? Was that 6?
I want to say it was 6. Like, what? Haven't all of them outside of, I think, of Loki and WandaVision been 6?
I think even Loki was 6.
Or was Cap and Winter Soldier a little longer?
WandaVision was the only one with 9 episodes.
9 episodes, yeah. So they'd have to get everything with damage control. Nakia's got to have a freak out because if they go away, they're not going to have that. Half of this episode, we could just be convincing her to go see Nani, and everything with the Jinns, and then possibly what her connection is to get her to the Marvels.
Mm-hmm. It's a lot to accomplish in 3 episodes, but honestly, out of all the shows so far, this one seems like the most well-paced and least affected by COVID.
It does. And oh boy, it's been a while since I've mentioned our dear old thing we used to cover. How did every year we need 24 weeks of programming to cover what these shows have effectively one after another done in 9 episodes or less.
I honestly can't fathom having to sit through one arc for that long. At least with Young Justice, what they did was smart was for the latest season, they had like mini arcs that were like 3 to 5 episodes each.
And they've been good with that. Young Justice has always been good about having an overarching thing, but always each member of the team has one thing that gets dealt with slowly at a time. They've always been very good about having plot details to keep you interested.
Mm-hmm.
And like that's what thing with normally when you get a DC animated show that they don't give up on, they're really good. Like, do you remember back in the day with the original Justice League when every single episode was 2 parts?
Yes, and it was awesome.
It was the best thing ever. Or it was like set up, finish, set up, finish. And then they switched it when they went to Unlimited, but it was still good. Because they just dealt with stuff and went, that'll take 4 episodes. What about that one? No, we'll finish it in 1. It was just when you don't go, how many episodes we got to fill? 24. How much plot we got? 5. What if we gave one of the people a drug problem and maybe one of them's gay? I don't know. I hate it so much. And I'm already dreading what that Gotham Knights horse shit's gonna turn into.
Oh God, I'm terrified.
You have 19 billion close or illegitimate children of Bruce Wayne, and you made a new one. What are you actually doing, DC?
And the worst part is like it barely even resembles the comics like at all.
No.
You could have called this like Robin War.
Yeah.
They have like 80 plus years of material and they're using like none of it.
None of it. Do you know what this feels like? Every single one of those characters looks like what they did with Cassandra Cain in Harley Quinn and the Birds of Prey.
Oh God.
We need a name for a character. What do we got? Well, she's Chinese. Cassandra Cain? But she's not good at karate or any type of fighting. And we're not going to mention her parents. What you going to do the whole film? Oh, have her hand in a cast? Then how about we don't call her Cassandra Cain? That's what all of them feel like, though. Randomly, it's like, oh, and who are you? I'm Carrie Kelly. He used to call me his little Robin. Shut up.
No.
Oh, stop. I've wanted so long for Carrie Kelly to be in something meaningful. This is not it. I wanted it to be Jenna Malone in BVS so bad.
Same.
But it didn't turn out to be. Anyways, we're getting off topic. Let's get the crap out of here. Mike, where can everybody find you?
You guys can find me on Twitter at CaptainK42. You can check out my quick butts on letterboxd.com/CoachK42. And you can find me in all the various Facebook groups just at my name. You can check out Renegade Pop Culture on Facebook and Twitter at Ren Pop Culture. Also on YouTube. You can also find us on Podchaser and the Banana Meter. Listen to all of our podcasts on Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, etc. And last but not least, everything can be found at renegadepopculture.com. Need an escape? So do we.
You can find me everywhere at Organoid Zero. And I'm going to tell you right now, I am openly apologizing to anyone. You will see me randomly shorting out. My laptop that I've been using for like 5 years is slowly becoming not as powerful as it was. It was only 4-core right before everything got switched up. I have a PC on the way. So all the issues you're seeing with me shorting and cutting will eventually be done. I have the monitors. I'm eventually upgrading to a 3-monitor setup. I just need to wait for my PC to get here. Everything will be good again. I am sorry for everyone who's noticing technical difficulties and you're hearing me tap. The only thing I found out that fixes the weird reset that I'm getting from the lack of power on the camera is me tapping my desk will reset it. It's slowly all just starting to chug. My baby girl's finally getting towards the end here. It'll get better, I promise. It's part of the reason why I've been halting on streaming as well, because it is massacring my CPU to try and stream on this thing. So it will get better, I promise. All right, everyone. We will see you next time. Bye.
Peace.